Start with you. It's a pleasure to have both of you on. What was your experience like growing up in the GTA?
My life has been, I feel like my life's been an ongoing journey of trying to figure out who I am while growing up in one of the most multicultural, most multi-diverse cities in the entire world. So there's actually a common phrase that like my relatives like to say. It's, if I had $1 for every time someone asked me where I was from more than once, then I'd be a richer man. I remember having a project back in elementary school where in our class, we were asked to put together like a potluck for students, and students were asked to bring up their native flag in as well as their native home country dish. I found it to be a difficult project considering I never thought of myself as being from anywhere outside of Canada. And secondly, we don't learn enough in school about Native Indigenous history or about that Canada does, in fact, have its own Black history and Black communities, which, in fact, predate the country itself. And my grandmother was actually a citizen of the Métis Nation of Ontario, and my grandfather was from Africville as well as North Preston, Nova Scotia, which are two of the largest and oldest Black Indigenous communities, which you probably never heard of in a history textbook. So what's common among these groups is that when Blacks were fleeing slavery in the South and they crossed into Canada, in many of these communities, the Indigenous populations were the ones who helped them live off the land and survive these cold winters in Canada. So I guess for me, a potluck, that's what a potluck is, and that's what it is to be mixed and Black in Canada.
Brian, I want to talk about social impact and equality and what role both those play in both your personal and professional life. Brian, go ahead, you first.
Well, this might sound slightly cliche to say. Well, my life has been far from a straight path, and I've had my challenges. It's been a good one thus far, and I feel like at a certain point, it's got to be about more than just yourself. It's got to also be about giving back to the community and just making sure those people feel well and feel great. I've had a few opportunities in my life to work at amazing charities which help marginalized youth from racialized backgrounds. I've also been able to work in a couple of different courthouses within downtown Toronto, and I found out a lot of the time these youth have generational trauma. They lack positive mentorship and access to equal opportunities. So currently, I sit on a non-for-profit called Nobellum Enterprise, which came about in response to the George Floyd killing in 2020. And this year, we joined forces with the University of Toronto to help launch at least 100 Black businesses across Canada by 2025 in STEM. And I'm excited to say that we've launched a pilot project over the past year in my ancestral community of North Preston, Nova Scotia. And if successful, the goal is to create economical and self-sustainable BIPOC communities across Canada through social economic development, financial literacy, and youth business mentorship programs.
And finally, Samora, again.